So Israel gets the head of Hamas, Haniyeh, inside of Tehran. Then it manages to totally destabilize and disable many, many senior Hamas terrorists and operatives through their pager and walkie-talkie attacks. They get many senior Hezbollah commanders of their Radwan force and then go for Nasrallah himself. And then we find out something that I would have thought is almost too comical to be true. But this is what was reported by CNN Turk. They said that former Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, in an interview with CNN Turk, said that Iran's secret services had created a special unit to combat Mossad operating in Iran. Fair enough, makes sense, given how much Mossad are penetrating Iran. However, turns out the head of this unit was himself a Mossad agent, along with 20 other agents who were responsible for multiple intelligence operations in Iran, including stealing nuclear documents and assassinating several Iranian nuclear scientists before allegedly fleeing to Israel. Now, this was posted, the video alongside it, the CNN reports, but it was all in foreign language, but someone has managed to translate the news piece. Have a watch.
Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, whose candidacy was rejected ahead of the presidential elections to be held in Iran on June 18, continues his statements. Finally, he claimed that the highest-ranking officer of the counter-Israel unit in the Iranian intelligence ministry was an Israeli agent.
ایران eski Cumhurbaşkanı ve 18 verdiği
unit
in the Iranian said that the highest Ahmadinejad bu kez verdiği röportajda he said that the highest officer in the counter-Israel unit in the Iranian intelligence ministry was an Israeli agent. The highest levels of the government, especially stated that Israel has influence up to the highest levels of the government, especially in the intelligence and security units. He said that Israel was able to conduct complex operations inside Iran and steal crucial nuclear documents from the most sensitive units, and that this was possible because of Israel's extensive influence and agent network within the Iranian leadership, which is still silent. Last Thursday, Yossi Cohen, director of Israel's Foreign Intelligence Service Mossad, said that they had seized Iran's secret nuclear documents in a 2-year effort by a 20-person Iranian team, none of whom were Israelis or Jews. Ahmadinejad's statements came after Cohen's statements.
It's just remarkable. Israel has achieved some incredible military and intelligence feats over the past few weeks and months. And while, of course, what happened on October 7th shook Israel and the Jewish people, we should also realize that Israel is now showing incredible ability to penetrate the enemy, to undermine their efforts, and to gather intelligence against them. And all I can say is my deep felt gratitude to all the military and intelligence and security institutions in Israel who have used not just their skills but ingenuity to go after what many people thought was going to be not necessarily an impossible task, but a very deadly one. Many people were predicting that in order to degrade Hezbollah, you were going to have serious casualties on Israel's side and on the Lebanese civilian side, by the way, regardless of whether or not many of the civilians support Hezbollah. But it was expected to be very bloody. And what Israel's done through these ingenious attacks, the pager attacks and others, is just so brilliant. It is no expert, we saw former Middle East negotiator from America, Jared Kushner, saying no expert thought that what Israel's done so far is impossible. And yes, of course, the road ahead still is going to be bumpy. Israel still has to fight what's left of Hezbollah in Lebanon and all the various other proxies in Iran itself. But we have to appreciate that while we have to be grateful, of course, to Israel for doing this, there's always an extent to which there's so many things that have to go right in these things, and it's so possible that Israel could just miss one thing or one planned attack, and all it takes is one thing to go wrong, right, for the whole thing to become extremely messy. And therefore, that's why we have to say, while of course we definitely show gratitude to Israel and their ingenuity, we also have to turn our heads upwards and thank God, because it is He who's ultimately running the show, blessing Israel, and it is not possible simply through man's own efforts to be able to thwart every single possible attack and know about every single thing. I cannot tell you how many particular details would have to go right to go into any of the momentous achievements we've seen Israel do over the past few weeks and months. And so the combined message is one of gratitude, of continued encouragement and confidence, but also gratitude to God above, who is always watching Israel and the Jewish people. And while much of our history, particularly in exile, has been difficult and we have been alone, the fact is, nonetheless, we are still here. And the fact that you have the Jewish people who are surrounded by enemies, largely trying to go about their lives and fairly just almost feeling a sense of uplift and unity and encouragement in Israel, shows that the Jewish people have a story that is simply not normal, and that we understand, perhaps at a subconscious level, that there's something about our nation's story that means that even when facing the darkest of nights, we survive, we come through, we pull through. And it's just amazing to see. And you only really feel that, by the way, when you're actually in Israel. Sometimes looking at Israel as an outsider in, you feel more of a sense of anxiety and like, gosh, this is very, very concerning. But then when you're actually there, something about the spirit of being there lifts you. Now, if you made it to the end of this video, I want to ask you something. I've been saying this on a few recent videos that JTV has been having a massive impact over the past year, but I think we could be having an even bigger impact at spreading the truth, at creating positive associations with Jews, Judaism, and Israel. And what I'd like to do is to scale JTV, to get more presenters on board, to do more supplementary content, documentaries, animation, vox pops, funny content. But the way we're going to do that is to build a team. I need to build a team of presenters, videographers, editors, and really scale the impact that we're having. So what I would like to do is just create, for people who support JTV and like JTV and appreciate it, we're going to do one day of fundraising where we try to fundraise to build this team. And I'm not necessarily saying would you be able to donate, but would you, if you would consider on that fundraising day reaching out to your network and seeing if they can chip in, that would be extremely, extremely helpful to us. We've already had a lot of people signing up saying they'd be happy to do it. And there's going to be such strength in numbers if all of us put our weight together. So if you'd be up for helping, if you'd be up for having your own mini page within a fundraising page that we're going to do, please click on the link, the Google form in the video description of this video, and I'll be in touch with you soon. As I say, we've already had some good take-up so far, and if more of us do this and pull together, the outcome in partnering with all of us in spreading the truth far and wide will be immense. Thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.